Hey guys, John from Mindak Outdoors here and Remington Ambassador. Today, I wanted to talk to you guys about the different locations that you guys may find yourself in when you're hunting waterfowl. The first thing I want to talk about is different ways to hunt water. We're going to start out with nothing. Now, as you can maybe see behind us, we have a public walking area, and this is where the general population of you guys are going to be doing your hunting. It's a great place to start out for beginners. Now, if you don't have a boat or a kayak and you find some birds in an area that you can walk to, I like getting a jet sled or something that can keep your stuff dry and float on the water. Walk it in, bring your decoys, bring your spinners, bring your nitro steels, whatever you got. If you tag that along and you're sitting in the water with the marsh stool, your stuff's not gonna get wet. It's gonna stay nice and dry, and it's gonna be a lot easier on your guys' end when you are doing the hunting part. The next thing I want to talk about is hunting in kayaks. This is one of my favorite ways to hunt waterfowl. A big reason I like using it is because they are very stealthy and they're a lot lighter and easier to do hunts with a giant boat. If you find a pile of birds that aren't very far away from you, just from like a public access point, dump your boat in, put your decoys in there, paddle on out to the spot and do some hunting in a kayak. It's a lot more stealthy, and for me, it's a lot more rewarding too when you have birds dumping in your face and you're sitting in a kayak. And the last thing I want to talk about is using boats to hunt. This is something I pretty much never do, but you're going to use this when you can't use a kayak and you need to travel a long distance away. It's a good tactic to get far out, get away from people. You can carry more stuff and bring more people. Now that we've talked about water, I want to talk about fields. Whether you're hunting a cut rye field, a bean field, a corn field, there's two main things that I use to field hunt. That is an A-frame and a layout blind. There's different applications for both. You're gonna wanna use an A-frame for certain type of scenarios, but you wanna use a layout blind for other types of scenarios. I'm gonna go over the layout blind first just because it's a little bit easier. If you're hunting somewhere where there's no tree rows or not a lot of stubble or just not a lot of things you can hide in pretty much, you wanna use a layout blind. It's better than an A-frame for a couple different reasons. Number one, it doesn't cast that big of a shadow, whereas if you use an A-frame, you know, you do have to worry about that sometimes. It's lower to the ground, so it looks more natural. They usually have stubble straps, so whether you're hunting, you know, like I said, a rye field or wheat field or corn, you can stubble it up. Looks a lot better and a lot more natural. There are a couple scenarios when you do want to use a A-frame. Now, an A-frame does take a little bit longer to set up, but once you have it set up and stubbled in, it looks very, very nice, butt up against cattails or something with a backdrop. If I'm hunting a tree row and I know that birds are gonna be coming in a certain way where they're gonna be seeing that, it looks very natural, and it can also be cattails like I was talking about earlier. If sometimes I like to bring out my grandpa or somebody that can't really lay down in a layout blind, an A-frame is a better alternative for that because you can bring older people, and it's just a lot more enjoyable sometimes just because you can put space heaters in there if it's cold, and you have more room to put shells and guns and etc. And a bonus little place that you guys may find yourself while hunting waterfowl is a pit blind. I've only gone on a couple pit blind hunts, but man, let me tell you, they are super nice. Late season honkers in a pit blind, it's nice and warm in there. You're not outside in an A-frame or a layout blind, absolutely freezing. You're nice and warm in there. They have a grill. You guys can eat food. It's just one of the coolest experiences that you guys will ever get. If you do get an opportunity, I highly suggest that you go out and do that. But guys, that is everything I have for you today. Remember, if you guys want to check out anything that Remington has, it'll be linked down below or go to remington.com. Thanks for watching and stay tuned. We'll see you guys on the next one.